So welcome everyone. Here's our today's guest, Dr. Krishnan Srinivasaraghavan, Head of Exploration in UNDP. So welcome sir on Tushar podcast.
Thank you, Tushar. Thanks for having me here.
So sir, it's my first question. Please tell us about the childhood days, sir.
Okay. So I grew up in a very small town in Tamil Nadu. The place is called Tindivanam. It is about 120 kilometers from Chennai. So I studied in St. Anne's Higher Secondary School, which is one of the largest schools in the town. And from my childhood, I had dreams of globetrotting, right? Visiting many countries, meeting different cultures, different people, so kind of I did not know that time what kind of job will give me that
Yes,
kind of a experience. So I was very interested in traveling globally.
sir, yes.
And apart from sports, which is cricket, I used to play cricket. But in addition to that, I had this fancy dream of traveling everywhere around the world and meeting people. Right? So, and yeah, my in my school, I was, studying biology, mathematics, physics, and chemistry. And like many parents in India, everybody at that time wanted to become an engineer or a doctor.
Sir, yes.
So that time I was actually clueless. To be very honest, I did not know what to do, and I just did well. I studied well. I topped the class, but I did not have very clear ideas on what course I should do. What program I should follow. So it's like a normal childhood with a lot of fun and games. But yeah, things changed as we moved forward, right?
So sir, basically our audience is not much aware about UNDP. So I would like to request you to tell about the UNDP.
Okay, so United Nations Development Program, what we call as UNDP, is the UN's global development network. It has offices in 170 countries and territories. Primarily, our role is to help countries develop their own solutions for meeting their development challenges and also build national and local capacities for human development and also to achieve the sustainable development goals. I'm sure most of you are aware of what are sustainable
Yes,
development
yes,
goals. These are the
yes,
global development goals. 17
yes,
SDGs are
yes.
there. So UNDP is the largest development organization of the United Nations system, which is helping countries to achieve the sustainable development goals.
And sir, there's a journey which is I think impossible without a problem. So, what the problems which you face in your journey?
Yeah, I mean from being trained as a biotechnologist. So my university education was in microbiology and biotechnology. So I did my graduation, post graduation in microbiology, and then I did a doctorate in biotechnology. So
Yes,
all this while, I really enjoyed science. I really enjoyed research, doing biotech. But at some point of time, I wanted to actually be part of the action, which is on the ground.
yes,
So, being a scientist, you are restricted to one research laboratory or a research and development facility.
yes,
I wanted to change that to come to public service.
yes, yes,
So, it's a dream that I want to work for people directly, so joining hands with them.
yes,
And the journey has been from, it's a struggle between being a life scientist, being a biotechnology person, a researcher,
yes,
to come into international civil service, which is the United Nations Civil Service, which is working
yes, sir.
directly with the people, for the people, together with the people, right? So that journey has been very challenging from a lab scientist to become an international civil servant. It's quite a big journey, long journey, I would say.
And sir, I think that everybody has ups and downs in their life, but the main problem is that sir, how to face it?
Okay. See, it's there are so many people can tell you this based on their own experience. In my own experience, if you have a dream, never leave that dream. You should follow your heart. because in many times I can share with you, my own funny story. My father wanted me to become an engineer or a scientist, but later I felt my heart is, actually I was doing very good in science. I did publish a lot of research articles in biotechnology in international journals, but my heart was longing for a civil service career. So I wanted to study international relations, diplomacy in my school. But being conservative, in India during those times, the parents always are worried about your future, what course you should study to get a job. So always the popular choice is science. But I was telling my father that please allow me to study international relations or something which I really like, which is history, geography, those kind of stuff. But one thing is that that dream was always in the back of my mind. So even though I graduated as a scientist, but I always wanted to go towards the destination, which is civil service, international civil service. And then what happened is, I got through several examinations, and instead of choosing a research career, I chose something like a management career. I joined Government of India and then moved to Australian Embassy and then moved to UN. But then, I thought, okay, this is the time I should explore international relations. That's my dream, right? I never give up on that dream. So I went to United States to study a Master of Arts degree in international relations. That is helping me even today. How my dream is actually translating to what I'm doing in my job every day.
And according to you, sir, which sector need the development in India to become a developed country?
Yes, I mean, we are doing pretty well in the service industry, service sector in India. But I think the R&D investment, the research and development investment, is very, very little when compared to other developed countries, or other most developing countries, higher income countries. So we need to, in India, we need to actually increase the investment on R&D. Not only public R&D, but private companies also need to get into R&D, because many a times what we do is, we do extremely well in the service sector, doing software, banking, finance, these kind of stuff. But when you develop solutions, indigenous solutions, and you should come up with a lot of patents. And so these R&D investment is required in every sector, not just in one sector. In every sector, you need to invest in R&D, research and development, which immediately may not give you results, but in the future, maybe for 10 years, 20 years down the line, all these investments will pay its fruits. I think it is a long journey, but we need to focus on R&D, research and development.
So, sir, I think that you can answer this question properly. That how can we save sir, non-renewable resources which are present now?
Yeah, it's very simple answer, because you can actually save non-renewable resources by moving to renewable sources. Because whether it's petroleum or coal, you have only a limited amount of quantity available for consumption, right? So you need to move to solar, hydro, wind energy, a lot of renewable energy options. And India is actually very progressive when it comes to renewable energy, because India now is hosting the International Solar Alliance, which is the largest solar international organizations based in India. It is headquartered in India. So we need more and more movement towards renewable sources from non-renewable sources. I mean, even the private sector, even public sector, we need to focus more on the renewable energy, not just technology development, but the entire life cycle and the industries surrounding it.
And sir, according to you, sir, the education system has faced so many problems in COVID. So, what do you think about it?
Education system, right? I think what we are now living is called new normal, right? Earlier, we used to go to the field, we used to go to project locations. For the past 1.5 years, we are working from home. In most cases, even companies or even organizations like us, we are. But work doesn't stop, because you need to just convert what you're doing physically into digital mode. If I can give you one example, right? We have a experiment that is going on using Internet of Things, IoT. How Internet of Things can help in smart irrigation. How do you control irrigation sitting 1,000 kilometers away, right? That experiment we set up before the COVID hit India, right? We were planning to actually make a physical trip to the agricultural land where we are trying to do this. But due to COVID, there were travel restrictions. We could not go, but we still managed through remote cameras, right? We have set up cameras in the field and we are coordinating completely digitally the whole experiment that we are doing on the field without going to the field. So that is the amazing potential of the digital technology, right? Every day office, whatever you were supposed to do in a particular office location in a physical setting, you do much more in a digital setting because you have more time. If I am in a physical office, maybe I will be able to attend 5 6 meetings in a day, because one meeting to another meeting you have to travel, you have a lot of other things to do. But in digital meeting, it's very easy to switch from one meeting to another meeting. So normally I attend some 8 to 9 meetings every day, right? So it gives you more output for a less time. So I think we have to leverage the potential of digital technologies. Education, I think there is no other way out. Our children, the students in schools or colleges need to be familiar with digital technologies, and that is the way forward.
And sir, what are the initiatives done by the UNDP for the countries?
I told you, UNDP's program is very broad. We are helping build capacities at the national level and local level, and also help the government to plan its entire development projects to meet the sustainable development goals, SDGs, right? So every ministry in India, there will be some national plan,
Yes.
and that national plan, how it is aligned with the sustainable development goal, right? What kind of targets, what kind of milestones need to be achieved in what timelines will contribute nationally to achieve the sustainable development goals. So UNDP helps in this kind of planning exercise, and also we are working hand in hand, joining hands with government in jointly delivering solutions. For example, we are currently building a blockchain platform for Indian spices, right? So this is, we are jointly working with the Spices Board of India. It is a small prototype solution, but we are planning to scale it up depending upon the success, and through which the entire spice farmer in country, millions of farmers, will be able to sell their spices directly to the foreign markets. And also the quality assurance is assured at every stage of the spices value chain. So this is just an example of what we do. And this is what I from poverty or food security related sustainable development goals to circular economy, sustainable production consumption, every SDG related to climate change. So all these SDGs, UNDP is supporting the government in meeting the targets, and also help build the capacity at the national level. So that is our main role.
But sir, the main point is that sir, these facilities can only get through the cities, but why the villages are not getting developed?
Yes, I mean the development model should be inclusive. So that's what we always say when we talk of innovations. It is not just high tech innovation like blockchain or Internet of Things. We are also looking at grassroots innovations, because innovations can be done at the rural level, at the farmers level also, at the in rural and entrepreneurs also do innovations. So we need to look at those innovations and also contextualize them, and to see how these innovations could be scaled up. There are brilliant examples from India. India is the motherland of grassroots innovations, and whenever the farmers are facing challenges, they are developing their own innovations to address the challenges. They don't depend upon some university developing some technology to give it to them. In many places, the farmers themselves are developing innovations. So we
Yes.
call them grassroots innovations. So one of the roles UNDP is focusing on is how to mainstream these grassroots innovations, how to support these innovations financially, as well as how to help them scale up the innovations across the country. And not only in India, we are also helping to identify innovations in India, and also try and test these innovations in other countries also. Because our farmers, the solutions that they're developing, may be suitable for farmers in Argentina, farmers in Uruguay and Paraguay. So we have developed something called Grassroots Innovation Database, GRID database, which has about 1,400 grassroots solutions. So we are working together with the Honeybee Network, which is the largest grassroots innovation network in the world, and we are jointly trying to assess what kind of potential these innovations have and how to scale them up.
And I want to ask one more thing, sir, that like how can we enhance employment in villages for these fields?
Yes, I mean, again, at the rural area, at the village level, we need to have structures that promote and nurture innovation, right?
Yes.
Innovation can come from any layer of this society. It could be from grassroots, it could be from students, it could be from entrepreneurs, it could be from research laboratories. So we need to have structures which can promote these innovations. So that's why we are also working with Niti Aayog, which is the planning body of India, in developing a white paper which is focusing on how to promote innovation at the district level. So we are advocating for the creation of something called District Innovation Fund. So this innovation fund will be available at the district level, so that any entrepreneur, any student who has a potential innovation which can be useful for the whole country, we can use those funds to promote these innovations and scale up these innovations. So the primary the way to support rural development is to identify innovations and promote and nurture them, and we need to establish structures for these to happen, and we call this national innovation system, right? In the national innovation system, the whatever happens at the central level, that is at the how do you say, that is at the policy making level. But on the ground, we also need to have structures that enable these policies to translate into actions at the district, block, and village level. So we need to have this vibrant and seamless integration of these networks, from rural networks to the national networks. There will be a seamless integration and cooperation between these networks. So that is what we are trying to do.
And sir, what we think that like sir, if we save non-renewable energy, so we can also enhance the renewable energy also with the help of this system.
Yeah, right.
And sir, basically United Nations actually means that the group of countries work here without any discriminations.
Right. That's right. It is a global organization which is basically all the countries in the world are members of the United Nations, right? So whatever decisions the UN implements, it is a consensus of the global community. So we are not a separate organization. We are made of countries, and in India is a founding member of United Nations, right? So we have members. We have 194 members. We have, and so all these members are driving the organization. Every decision that we make, every major program that we do, it is the collective will of the people.
Yes. And sir, what do you think that our countries can learn from United Nations that sir, the all people work without any discrimination, but in India there are some places where discrimination is available.
Yeah, I mean, from UN point of view, from UN development program, we are working towards removing all forms of discrimination, and we are working with the government how to address these problems, right? Through our programs, innovative programs. For example, in some cases where the women uh, involvement is very less in some areas, where we try to promote women entrepreneurship. For example, we have innovation challenges in UNDP where we specifically promote women entrepreneurs, right, and marginal communities. So how do we ensure that everybody gets an equal opportunity to contribute to the nation building? So once you start addressing these issues, naturally you will have a equitable society where discrimination will not be there. So that is our long-term goal. We are working towards that destination.
And sir, in the last, I want to request you to please sir give a message who are watching this time.
Okay, so my message is very simple. Just follow your heart, irrespective of whatever challenges you are making, you are getting in life. At every stage, there will be always challenges, but never stop your journey. Never change your goals. If you have a dream, and if you believe you can achieve this dream, irrespective of whatever others say, whatever the external world says, do not change your dream. Just follow your heart, because you never know which door will open for you. Because you should not stop knocking the doors. You should try your best, knock every door that is available. You don't know which door will open for you, and maybe you will achieve your dream. So with hard work and perseverance, you will achieve your dream. Just follow your heart. That is my message to you.
And in the last, I would like to thank you, sir, for coming on my platform and like speaking to my audience.
Thank you, Tushar. All the best to you. Thank you.
Okay.